Welcome everybody. We are discussing the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. This is the chapter 5 of class 11th biology. Already we have discussed 3 parts of this chapter. Today we are going to discuss the part 4 of this chapter. And in our previous session we discussed up to the leaf. And today in this session we will discuss the inflorescence. Let us start our discussion. What is inflorescence? The arrangement of flower on floral axis is called inflorescence, or we can say the branch of the plant that bears the flowers is called inflorescence. So here in this picture you can see this is the branch of a plant, and or you can say this is the portion of the stem that bears the flowers. So here you can see this is the axis and that bears a number of flowers, and this is called inflorescence. And very important to remember that the axis or the branch that bears the flower is called peduncle. So this is the peduncle. Okay. So these inflorescences are of 4 types: racemose, cymose, special type of inflorescence, and mixed inflorescence. So, as per your syllabus, that is CBSE syllabus or NCERT textbook, only racemose and cymose inflorescence are there. But here I'll discuss racemose, cymose, special type, as well as the mixed inflorescence. That will be helpful for your NEET examination. Okay. So here you can see that this is the here you can see 2 types of arrangement are there. So in one case the branch is the floral axis is not terminated with a flower, but here the floral axis is terminated with a flower. So here the flowers are differently arranged. So basing on the arrangement of the flower on the floral axis or the peduncle, the inflorescence are of different types. Okay. So let us start the first type of inflorescence, that is racemose. So what is racemose inflorescence? So in case of racemose inflorescence, the main axis, that means the peduncle, continues to grow and does not terminate in a flower, and gives off flowers laterally in an acropetal manner. Okay. So let me show you what is acropetal manner. So here you can see this is racemose inflorescence. Simple racemose type of inflorescence is shown here. And as the racemose inflorescence says that the floral axis is not terminated with a flower. So here you can see that the terminal part of the peduncle is not terminated with a flower. So it can grow further. Okay. So besides that, what is the other feature of racemose inflorescence? The flowers are arranged in acropetal succession. So what is acropetal succession? Acropetal succession means the older flowers are present towards the base of the peduncle. So this is the base and this is the apex of the peduncle. So the old flowers, so here you can see the bigger flowers are the old flowers. The old flowers are present towards the base, and the smaller flowers are the younger flowers which are produced later, as well as the buds, the floral buds, which are seen towards the apex. So this type of arrangement is called acropetal succession. So the racemose inflorescence is characterized by 2 things. One is the floral axis or the peduncle is not terminated with flower. Other is the older flowers are present towards the base and younger flowers are present towards the apex. So here you can see this is a racemose inflorescence. Here you can see the older flowers, fully bloomed flowers are there towards the base, but towards the apex you can see the buds are there, and still more buds are to be produced. That means the peduncle. So this stalk is called the peduncle. So this peduncle can grow further and it is not terminated with a single flower. Okay, and the whole thing is called a inflorescence. And since here the flowers are arranged in acropetal succession, so it is called racemose inflorescence. Then we'll discuss the types of racemose inflorescence. So again, these racemose inflorescence are of different types basing on the arrangement of the flowers. Okay, so they are here I have given the outline picture of these inflorescence, and we'll discuss the racemose inflorescence types of racemose inflorescence one by one with a picture. So the racemose inflorescence is grouped into simple racemose inflorescence and compound racemose inflorescence. So in simple racemose inflorescence, the raceme, caryme, umbel, capitulum, spike, spadix, catkin and strobili. When the racemose inflorescence, simple racemose inflorescence is branched, and they are called compound racemose inflorescence. So the compound racemose inflorescence are panicle, compound caryme, compound umbel, compound capitulum, compound spike, compound spadix. So here when the simple raceme is branched, then it is called panicle. When caryme is branched, it is called compound caryme. When umbel is branched, then it is called compound umbel. Capitulum is branched, then compound capitulum. Spike is branched, then it is called compound spike. Spadix is branched, then it is compound spadix. So we'll discuss the simple and compound racemose inflorescence, both the types of inflorescence side by side. So the first one is simple raceme, simple and compound raceme. So here the peduncle or the main axis is elongated and flowers are pedicellate. That means the flower has a stalk. Each and every flower has a stalk. The stalk of the flower is called pedicel. So when the pedicel is present, then the flower is called pedicellate flower. Okay, the examples are radish, mustard, and but when this peduncle is branched and each branch bears the pedicellate flower in acropetal succession, then that is called panicle, okay, or compound raceme. So let me show you the picture so that it will be clear to you. So this is simple raceme and this is compound raceme or panicle. So here you can see the main axis is growing, and the main axis is having the pedicellate flower. So the flower, each flower is having pedicel. That means the stalk of the flower by which it is attached to the inflorescence is called pedicel. So pedicellate flowers are there and they are arranged in acropetal succession. That means older flower towards the base and younger flower towards the apex. Okay. So, and what we discussed, the other one is compound raceme. So here, as I told you, when the simple raceme is branched, then that is called compound raceme or panicle. So here you can see the peduncle is branched. Now each branch is having similar type of arrangement, that is acropetal succession is there, and they are also having the pedicellate flower. The younger flower towards the base, the older flower towards the base and younger flower towards the apex. Okay. So I think it is clear to you. Raceme, when raceme is branched, then it is called panicle or compound raceme. Then the next type is spike. In spike, the peduncle is elongated. You can see this is spike. This is the peduncle, the main axis of the inflorescence. It is elongated, but the flowers are sessile. So here you can see the flowers. So these are the flowers. The small flowers are there, and these flowers are not having stalk. They are directly grown on the peduncle. So they don't have a stalk. So this is the difference between raceme and the spike. Okay. So now when the peduncle is branched, so here you can see this is the peduncle. The peduncle is branched. Okay. And each branch bear a spike-like structure. Spike-like inflorescence. Here you can see the spike-like. So this is the peduncle. This is branch. and this branch is having the inflorescence, and the small branches are having the flowers. So here you can see these are the flowers. These flowers are called florets. Okay, and this type of arrangement is called spikelet. Okay, or compound spike. This is the characteristic of family, grass family, like wheat, paddy, and all grasses. They are having such type of inflorescence. So this floret, when it is highlighted, you can see this is the structure of the floret. Okay, so this is a flower. So spike is simple, peduncle is one, flowers are sessile, but when peduncle is branched and that bears the flower, then that is called spikelet. Okay, then catkin. So here in catkin, the peduncle is long, thin and weak. You can see this is the peduncle. The peduncle is hanging downward. It is thin and weak and long. And the flowers, you can see the red color spherical structures are the flowers which are attached to the peduncle, and these flowers are sessile flowers. They don't have the stalk. Okay. So here this is the real picture of a plant that shows the arrangement of the flowers. So here you can see the peduncle is elongated and it is hanging downward because it is weak, but the flowers are sessile flowers are attached to the peduncle directly. So this is and one of the most important feature is that the flowers present in it are unisexual. They may be either male or female. And this is seen in case of mulberry, betula, oak. Okay. So this is the characteristic feature of a catkin. The next type of inflorescence is spadix. So here peduncle is thick. Here you can see this is peduncle. The peduncle is thick, long and fleshy, and it has small, you can see this is peduncle. So this is the continuation of the peduncle, and the peduncle bears a large number of small sessile unisexual flowers. So here you can see these are the small flowers attached to the peduncles, and these flowers are sessile. They don't have the stalk, and all these flowers are unisexual. Okay, and now all these flowers are covered by a common bract that is called spathe, and this bract is usually colorful or green in color. Generally it is colorful, as in case of banana. In banana there is a large bract that forms a spathe which covers the flowers. Okay, we often eat the flowers of banana. So when we remove the bract, then only the bracts are red in color in case of banana. When you remove the bract, then only we can see the flowers. Okay, so what is the characteristic feature in spadix? The peduncle is thick, long, fleshy, which bears sessile, means stalkless flowers which are unisexual. Okay, and all the flowers or the whole inflorescence is covered by a large bract, one or more large bract, that is called spathe, and this bract is usually colorful. The next type of inflorescence is karim. So in karim, the peduncle is very short, and all the flowers are present or arranged in such a way that they seems to be present at the same level. Okay, so why? So here you can see this is the peduncle. The older flowers which are present towards the base are having long pedicel, long stalk. Gradually you can see the size of the stalk has been decreased. Okay, and that's why all the flowers seems to be present at the same level, and such type of arrangement or inflorescence is called Karim. Okay, so here the peduncle is reduced, and on the peduncle the flowers are developed, which are pedicellate flower. The pedicel of lower flowers are longer than the upper flowers. That's why all the flowers are present at the same level, and this is called Karim. Now coming to the compound Karim. In compound Karim, this is the peduncle which is branched. Now this peduncle is branched, and this is the branches of peduncle, and now in the branch the flowers are developed as it is developed in case of simple Karim. So here you can see this is the branch of the peduncle. So now in the branch, again they are further branched. Now you can see the older flowers, that is the flowers which are present towards the lower side, or the branches which are present towards the lower side are having more length, and the branches towards the upper side are having less length. Okay, the length is less. That's why all the flowers and the floral branches seems to be present at the same level, and this is called compound Karim. So simply we can say, when the peduncle of the Karim is branched and bears the flower as arranged in the simple Karim, then that is called compound Karim. Then the next type of inflorescence is umbel. So here you can see that the stalk of the flowers, these are the stalks of the flowers or pedicel of the flowers, are more or less equal length. They are of equal length and arise from the same point. You can see they arise from the common point. So all the flowers are developed from a common point. But here what happens? The older flowers are present towards the periphery, and the younger flower is present at the center. So here the flowers are present in a hole, in a circle. Okay, and at the base of the inflorescence, or the base of the all the flower, from where the point from where all the flowers are developed, at the base of that the bracts are forming a hole in a circle, that is called involucre. Very important. In case of umbel, the flowers are developed from a common point on the peduncle, and all flowers are having equal length of stalk. The younger flower at the center, older flowers towards the periphery, and the whole inflorescence, at the base of the whole inflorescence, the bracts are present in the form of a hole, that is called involucre. Okay. Now when this umbel is branched, so here you can see, here the umbel is branched. So here this is the peduncle. The peduncle is branched. These are the branches of peduncle, and again these peduncles, the branches of the peduncles are bearing the umbel. So this is called compound umbel. Okay, so this is the arrangement of the fruit, because the flowers are arranged in such that way. That's why the fruits developed from the flowers are also arranged in that way. Okay, so this is called compound umbel, and this is called simple umbel. Simple umbel is when it is branched, then it is called compound umbel. The next type of inflorescence is capitulum or racemose head. It is otherwise called head or capitulum inflorescence. So here the growth of the peduncle is retarded and it becomes broad. I will show you the picture so that it will be clear to you. and it is broad, flattened, concave or convex. And on the peduncle, on that concave or convex surface of the peduncle, the small flowers are present. And these flowers are called floret. The small flowers are called floret. If the younger flowers are present towards the center and older flowers are present towards the periphery, then that is called centripetal order. Okay, the younger flower towards the center and older flowers towards the periphery, then that is called centripetal. That means the growth is taking place towards the center. In contrary, the flowers which are present in the center are called disc, older flower, and the flowers which are present towards the periphery are called centrifugal. But generally in case of racemose inflorescence, the younger flowers are present always at the center and older flowers are present towards the periphery. And the flowers which are present in the center are very small in size and they are called disc floret. I'll tell you why they are called disc floret. And the flowers which are present at the periphery are called ray floret. Okay. So here the florets or the flowers, the small flowers may be unisexual or bisexual, and the inflorescence is surrounded by one or more involucre. That means the bract that covers the base of the flowers, all the flowers. And remember children, this is very important. It is the most advanced type of inflorescence because all flowers are pollinated at the same time, because they very compactly they are arranged. So whenever pollination takes place, all the flowers get pollinated at the same time. This is the most advanced feature of this type of inflorescence. So let me explain you with the help of diagram. So here you can see this is the peduncle. The peduncle, you can see this is it is reduced. Peduncle is reduced into a flattened broad structure on which the flowers are there. So here you can see this is the peripheral flowers which are called ray florets, but towards the center you can see these flowers are present. They are restricted to a disc like portion, so they are called disc floret. So here the highlighted picture of the disc floret. So these disc florets are small and they are confined to a disc shaped area on the peduncle. So they are known as disc floret. And the ray florets, why they are called ray floret? Because they are developed they are developed in such a way that they appear like the ray that is emerging out of the disc shaped area. So here you can see at the center the younger flowers are there, they are not completely developed, whereas at the periphery you can see the larger flowers, that is older flowers are there. So this type of arrangement is known as centripetal arrangement. So this is the picture of ray floret which is having corolla, which is exposed corolla is there. But here the corolla is a very small tubular structure and these flowers are usually small and they are confined to the central disc shaped area. So they are known as disc floret, as they are present at the periphery and they are developing like the ray of the sun. So if the central part is considered, disc part is considered as the sun, then these florets which are present at the periphery can be considered as the ray of the sun. So that's why they are called ray floret. Okay. Besides that, all these flowers are covered by one or two involucre. Involucre means when the bracts are present in a hole. They are present in a circle and covers the bases of all flowers. The next type of inflorescence is cymose inflorescence. The cymose is just opposite of racemose inflorescence. So here the growth of the main axis is limited and it is always terminated with a flower. But in racemose what happens? The growth is unlimited and it is never terminated with a flower. And other feature is that the older flowers are present at the upper portion or at the center, and the younger flowers are present towards the periphery, and such type of arrangement is called basipetal succession. So in racemose inflorescence, the acropetal succession is present where the flowers are arranged in centripetal manner, but here in centrifugal manner. That means centripetal means the older flowers towards the periphery or towards the base and younger flower towards the center, and that is called centripetal or acropetal succession. But in cymose inflorescence, the flower terminates with the peduncle terminates with a flower, and that is always a older flower. So the older flowers are present towards the center and the younger flowers are present towards the periphery. Younger flower as well as buds are developing towards the periphery, and this is called centrifugal or basipetal succession. Again, the cymose inflorescence are of three types: uniparous, biparous, and multiparous cyme. So let me explain you different types of cymose inflorescence. So this is your monocasyal or uniparous cyme. So this here you can see this is the peduncle, the main axis that is terminated with a flower. So no more growth of this peduncle can take place, and this is the older flower. But at the periphery you can see the younger flowers are there. Again it is having the flower is developed. It is terminated with flower, then again another peduncle terminated with flower, then branch is having younger, still younger, and then still younger. So like this the flowers are arranged, that is the older flower at the center and the younger flower towards the periphery. Again these monocasyal or uniparous cymes are of two types. So here in this picture you can see that the flowers, the arrangement of flower is quite different in both the cases. So the first one is monocasyal helicoid, that is uniparous helicoid. So here you can see that the peduncle is terminated with a flower, then the younger flower is present, the younger branch is again terminated with a flower, then still younger branch is developed. So here you can see that the branches are developed or the new flowers are developed on one side of the peduncle only. So here you can see on the right side of the peduncle only it is developing. So it gives the appearance of a helix. It creates a helical structure. So that's why it is called helicoid. Okay. But here you can see that the main peduncle or the floral axis is terminated with a flower. Then the younger flower is developed on the right side. Then the next younger flower will be developed on the left side. Then again on the right side, then again on the left side. So alternately the flowers are developed, the younger flowers are developed alternately from different in different direction. So this is called scorpioid. Okay. So this is the difference between helicoid and scorpioid, monocasyal or uniparous cyme. So here are the examples, the picture, real picture of the plants where it is having the structures. Then next is your the other type of inflorescence, that is biparous. So here you can see that in uniparous we have seen that only one branch at a time is developed. Only one branch is developed either on the left side or right side or on both the side alternately. But here in biparous cyme, it is otherwise known as dicaseum. So in biparous cyme, the main peduncle is terminated with a flower. The older flower is present at the center, younger flower towards the center, but the flowers, the younger flowers are developed on either side of the peduncle of the main axis. Again you can see, again on the branch, Again on the either side the flowers are developed. Then further they will be branched. So in this way the flowers are very compactly arranged, and these flowers are arranged on either side of the peduncle. That's why it is called dicasyal or biparous cyme. Then another type is polycasyal or multiparous cyme. Okay, so here you can see the that is your main axis is terminated with flower. Then here the main axis is branched multiple times, many times. So here it is branched twice only. One, so this is the main axis. This is branched once, then twice. It is branched twice. But here you can see the main axis branched once, then twice, then thrice. And more than that also it can be branched. Okay, that's why it is called polycasyal or multiparous cyme. So here more clearly I have given how the flowers are arranged. So this is helicoid cyme, that is uniparous cyme. You can see the flowers are developed on one side only. So this is the terminal flower, second flower is grown on this side, third flower this side, fourth flower this side, fifth flower this side, sixth flower. So like this the flowers are developed and it gives the appearance of a helix, so it is helicoid. But in scorpioid you can see alternately the flowers are developed. This is first, second one is this in this direction, left side, third one again right side, fourth one left side, fifth one right side. And the example of helicoid is Heliotropicum, and the scorpioid cyme is Begonia and Vine. Then dicasyal, I have already explained you. Here you can see the picture. So it is here you can see this is the main axis. This is the first flower, then second flower. At a time, two flowers are developed from the main axis. Then again that is secondarily branched. So up to three flowers it will be there. This is called biparous cyme. And this is seen in case of Datura, Bougainvillea, Jasmine, teak, etc. Next, as I said that in multiparous, you can see it is multiple times it is branched. So here you can see this is the peduncle, first flower. Then here you can see four branches are developed from a point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So four branches are developed. So there are number 2 flower is on 4 branches. So 2, 2, 2, 2. So it is multiple times branched. Then again from here 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4. So in this way it is multiple times branched. So it is called multiparous cyme or polycasyal. This is seen in case of Nerium, Asclepsia. Then we'll discuss some of the special type of inflorescence which are having a very different type of arrangement. So first one of them is Staphyum. The bract of the involucre. The bract or the involucre. Involucre means the bract are present in the hole. They are fused to form a cup-shaped structure. On the margin of it, secretory glands are present. I'll show you the picture so that it will be clear to you. And in the central part of the cup-shaped structure, a female flower is found which matures earlier due to the growth of the pedicel. This comes out from the cup-shaped structure. Okay. The female flowers are surrounded by many small flowers and they are also found on the pedicel. The male flowers which lie towards the center mature earlier than the flowers which are towards the periphery. Okay. So let me show you the picture. So here you can see this is the bract, the whole, this is peduncle, then this is the bract which forms involucre. They are present in a hole. Okay. Then you can see that at the center the female flower is present and at the periphery the male flowers are present. Small male flowers are present. Actually here in this picture you can see that The bract forms a cup-shaped structure, and inside the cup-shaped structure initially all flowers are present. But as I said that the female flower matures earlier, so the female flower emerges out of the cup-shaped structure. So here you can see this is the cup-shaped structure which is formed by this involucre. Now this female flower, a single female flower is present that is emerged out of this. Now surrounding the female flower, the male flowers are there, and here you can see that the smaller male flowers are present towards the periphery, and the larger male flowers, or you can say the flowers are present towards the center. Okay, so in this way the female flower is present at the center and a single female flower is present, and in the the on the involucre, that is the bract, margin of the bract. So this is the bract margin of the bract. Some secretory glands are there, and these secretory glands secretes nectar to attract the insect. Okay, so the insect comes to, they are attracted by this bract and they feed upon the nectars, and while feeding upon the nectars and moving to other flower, they pollinate the flower. Okay. Another special type of inflorescence is verticillaster. This type of inflorescence is found in Labiatae or Lamiaceae family, that is Ocimum, Tulsi jo hota hai, in that Tulsi it is present. In this type of inflorescence, the leaves are arranged in an opposite manner on the stem. I will show you the picture so that it will be clear to you. From the axil of each leaf, inflorescence develops, and from the main axil, lateral axil arises on which the flowers are found. Now from these branches, lateral branches also develops. On these branches, flowers are found. Okay. So here the special type of inflorescence are more complex than the cymose and racemose type of inflorescence. Okay, that's why they are very important from the examination point of view. So here you can see that this is the stem, main stem, and here you can see, suppose say this is the part of the stem from where the leaves have been, the flowers have been, or the inflorescence have been developed. So from a single point of the stem on either side, on opposite side, the inflorescence are developed. So this is inflorescence, the whole thing is inflorescence, but that has been developed on either side of the stem, and they are developed from a common point of the stem in opposite direction, then they are branched, and the flowers are arranged in basipetal succession as in case of cymose, and they are in a helicoid manner. So here you can see, so if you see this part, then it is terminated with a single flower, then it is branched, and all flowers develop on one side of the peduncle. So this is helicoid type of cymose inflorescence. But since here there are two branches developed from single point of the stem and they are opposite to each other, so here you can see they are growing this way and they are going this way. So they are facing each other. Such type of inflorescence is called verticillaster, which is seen in case of Tulsi, Ocimum sanctum. Okay. The third type of inflorescence is, third type of special inflorescence is Hypanthodium. So here the peduncle is modified into narrow cup-like structure, and at the base of the cup, female flowers develop, while towards the mouth, male flower develops. So this is seen in case of banyan, peepal, ficus species. So here you can see this is the that is peduncle. The peduncle is modified into a cup-shaped structure. It is so from outside it appears like a fruit. So this is the longitudinal section of the inflorescence. So it completely forms a cup-shaped structure having an opening. Okay. So here you can see how the flowers are arranged. So here you can see the female flowers are present, As I said, they are present towards the basal side. So this is the basal part. So here the female flowers are present, and towards the center and apical side the male flowers are there. So there is an opening. This is the apical part, and this is the part by which it is attached to the stem. Okay, and these are the basal part. This basal part is having the female flower, and towards the apical part the male flowers are present, and here apical pore is present, which is called apical pore, which is also covered by the bracts. And why this apical pore is present? This cup-shaped structure is usually green or very colorful to attract the insect. Then when the insect comes, it sits on this bract or the receptacle, and that then it pollinates the male flower. The pollen grains that is present towards the apical pore are collected by the insects, and they help in pollination. Then the last type of inflorescence, that is mixed inflorescence. Sometimes the flowers are arranged in both racemose and cymose manner of on the same peduncle, and this is called mixed inflorescence. Like in spadix, that is in case of mixed spadix is there. As I told you that in banana actually the flowers are developed in both the way, like cymose, that is acropetal succession, as well as basipetal succession. Similarly, another mixed type of inflorescence that is seen in case of grape vine, that is cymose and racemose, mixture of cymose and racemose inflorescence is there. Okay, so these are the different types of inflorescence, and more you will discuss about more types of mixed inflorescence in higher classes. This is not necessary for your level, so that's why I'm not discussing much. So I think this inflorescence chapter is very much clear to you, and even though this chapter is not there in your textbook in details, but I have discussed it in details because it is very much essential for those who are interested for medical line, or who are interested to give NEET examination. So that's why I have discussed it in elaborately. I have discussed. So in our next session, we'll discuss the flower. And thank you for watching the video till end. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe to watch all the videos of class 11th and 12th. And I'm also preparing the videos for class 9th and 10th also. And class 8th also I'm preparing for all chapters. So thank you once again for watching the video.